sing a happy song together, and we'll all be a happy family.
Right, hi, welcome back to the channel. So, a little update on the Grundig TK12 reel-to-reel tape recorder. This is not going to be much of an update, I'm afraid, but there has been a tiny bit of progress. Now this piece here, which fits on here, it has the heads. These are the record playback heads, and these are erase heads. So they're doubled up because the tape can run either way through this one. So we've got two pinch rollers, two heads, and solenoid here, which is what brings these in. When the solenoid is energized, it pulls all this in. Now it turns out that these were connected with little plugs and leads. There's 3 plugs and leads of this sort of thing, which connected onto this unit, and the 4 screws which came here and here and here and here. I could remove that whole unit without unsoldering anything, and so I put that out the way over here, and there's the indicator valve, level indicator. There's the screws that hold this in, so hopefully I'll remember when all that goes back in. Having also found that this speed control unit, which seems to be an extra that was added on at some point in the design, and slacken off the 2 screws, this will come out and it will unhook from the bottom, but it is connected on by a cable, and that will give you access to valves under there. 2 of the valves, and 2 of the valves can be accessed from here, just about, and they're shielded and they're very difficult to get at through there, but you probably can just about change the valves without dismantling it. Now the problem I have is I haven't been able to find out how to separate these. You think it might be easy, but believe me, when it's in front of you, it isn't. I've tried loosening these screws off, seeing if it's going to come apart. If it does, I'm going to have the problems if I accidentally pull any wires off. I don't really know where they go. It would take a lot of working out, so I haven't really gone too far at the moment into trying to take it apart, mainly because something called life has got in the way. There's too much else going on in my life at the moment that I'm having to deal with. This has to take a bit of a back burner for a time being, but we'll get back to it. We'll get on with it. So anyhow, that's that side of it. As I say, I need to find out how I get this apart. What I have found out is a bit of information on it from Radio Museum. Now, this has the unfortunate problem that it's all in German, and I don't know much German. I did 1 year at school, half a century ago, of German, and since then I've visited Germany, but I know how to ask for 2 beers. That's about it, I think. Right. So I'm not sure what this one is showing. This is showing the connections on the back for the microphone and radio inputs and so on. This thing I think is an accessory that I don't have. I think it's a mic mixer type unit, so you could feed in more than one source at once, mix them together. So I say the text here would explain all that if I could read it. And there's quite a few pages of German. I'm dropping the bits on the floor now as well. It's too cramped in here. I want a sunny day so I can work outside on the patio in the sunlight. And that would be a better environment to try and suss how it comes apart. Another page of German. And then we've got various circuit diagrams and bits of circuit diagrams. I think I might have this doubled up. I think two people may have sent in diagrams, and one's all on one page and one seems to be split on two. The other thing being that all this data is for a TK10 and mine is a TK12. Now I've not been able to find out what the difference is. I've got a fairly strong idea that the only difference is the TK12 is an export model and perhaps has a different input transformer, quite possibly for different voltages. They may well be these diagrams are very similar to what I've got. This is showing the electronics chassis layout and where the valves are and transformer and so on. Now, there's information on these various sheets showing voltages and tape speeds and frequencies, things that would need to be set up. But really, what I need to do, the correct way to approach this is to check all the capacitors, check the selenium rectifiers, make sure they're all okay before trying to apply voltage to it. And I am thinking about perhaps trying to apply voltage to it under controlled conditions using my isolation transformer variac and dim bulb unit, which I built myself, which enables me to apply the voltage slowly and carefully. And if there's a really bad fault, then all that would happen is the bulb would light up and prevent damage to this. So that's one possibility, but I don't really like doing that because I don't think it's the right approach. But I could say try it under controlled conditions and see if it actually does anything. The risk with that is that if the selenium rectifiers are no good, the smoothing caps or the cap feeding the grid of the output valve are bad, then I could actually damage components. I could damage the valves. I could damage the output transformer. Very wary about doing that with something like this, with irreplaceable parts or very expensive to replace parts in it. So yeah, I'm open to suggestions. If anyone knows how if I can find some software, because these are pictures rather than text files. But if anyone knows of a text to or text recognition program that could read this from a photograph and then translate it to English, that would be one approach. If I could easily translate this to readable English, then that would be a good start. And so the other thing is, if anyone knows of any information on these and how these parts come apart, I'll be willing to have a go. But at the moment, I really don't want to pull any wires off, as I said. I thought, I'll look at someone else's videos. Well, there are other videos showing TK10s and I think even TK12s, but mainly they're people just showing them working. I haven't found one of anyone stripping one down and how it comes apart. So that, which is the way I often approach these things hasn't helped in this case. And I've had a go at loosening the screws off and seeing what moves, but I still can't see how the mechanical parts stay together in one piece and the electronic chassis will come off from the bottom. I can't see how that comes apart. So there's several drive belts. They don't seem too bad. I think they would actually work. The one working the counter's a bit loose, but I'm fairly confident that mechanically it would probably still work. But there's a bit of food for thought, and I've gone on long enough. And it's mainly been an explanation of why I haven't done anything really. Well, I've done a little, but I haven't made any progress. So if anyone has any ideas to help, I'd be very, very pleased to hear them. Or if you spot a video or any information on these that shows how they come apart, then that would definitely be very welcome too. So for now, I'm going to leave it there. I hope this is of interest to people still. I know it's very slow progress, and perhaps I'll catch you in the next video. And please consider a like and subscribe if you enjoy any of this project.
Sing a happy song together, fill the air with harmony. Sing a happy song together, that's the song to choose. For pushing away the blues, keep the heartstrings running, there's a good time coming. It will keep on humming a melody. Sing a happy song together, and we'll all be a happy family.